it's not up to date, but there are still viruses really going by floppy disks. So what is more interesting are CDs and DVDs. You have a great auto-start function in Windows. We all know it, and it's so good to use it. Just write an auto-start virus that copies on a CD, make an auto-start for this exe file, insert it, and boom, the virus gets executed. Very nice. Thanks to Windows for helping us. We access so much. What else? USB drives. USB drives are cool. There are new USB drives coming out that actually are like CDs and DVDs. They have auto-start functions, and it's like the same with CDs. We code a virus, we check if there's a USB inserted, we copy on it, and we spread it. But those techniques have one big disadvantage. They all need somebody who puts the stick or CD or whatever in, so it is not really automated. So let's look at some automated techniques. P2P networks, they are really great. Not also for sharing porn, but also for spreading viruses. You have normally a program like Shariza or DC++ or whatever, with a normal folder where you can put all your stuff in it you want to share. And well, a virus does nothing else than copying itself at this place, and it gets shared. And you give it a great name like Windows Vista Crack, and people will really load it, and it works. What else? We have share hosters. How can we imagine spreading a virus by a share hoster? So a share hoster is something like RapidShare. So imagine a virus, you load it up to RapidShare, you make some advertisement in forums and blogs, and people click on the file, download it, and execute it. That's a way to spread a virus, and it really works. Email, the standard way to spread a virus. I think I don't have to say much about emails, we all know it. There are many example source codes out there, how to spread a virus by email. And the Stormworm uses this technique, by the way. Bluetooth, as I said, Marco Rogge wrote an interesting article about Bluetooth malware, and I bet it will be the technique in the future. IRC, well, that's cool. IRC is very interesting, and there are many viruses out there that spread, for example, by XChat on Linux, or by MIRC on Windows, or XChat on Mac OS X works as well. And it's very simple. You code a bot that waits in a room, and when a new person changes, you DCC him and say, hey, I have a file, don't you want to share it? Or don't you want to have it? And you send it to him, he looks at the file, and well, that's it. He's infected with your virus. ICQ MSN, just like IRC. Messages are sent out to all contacts in the contacts list. Network shares. That is interesting. If you are on a LAN and you have network shares where you can write on, you can just put your virus onto the network share, and if people are stupid, stupid enough, yeah, let's say stupid enough to click on it, they will get infected. Where's, of course. So also be careful with where's. They are often infected with the viruses. It's logical because people code those where's and they don't get money for it, so they make their money by coding viruses as well and putting them into where's. What I really like are exploits. Exploits are very great for spreading. There have been big warm spreads out, in the last years that used exploits, for example, for servers like the SQL server of Microsoft or similar. So exploits are really great for coding viruses, but they are mostly used by, They are mostly used by criminals and not by the whiteheads, what we call the VXers. So now you saw a bit about spreading techniques. Just to give you an overview how we code viruses and worms and spread it. Just a moment. Okay, A virus is a program that reproduces itself. So how does it reproduce itself? Well, we have different ways. We have an appender virus. What is an appender virus? An appender virus appends its own code at the end of the original code. Imagine a Perl script. You have a Perl script, and the virus puts its code at the end of a Perl script. At the beginning, it does a jump to the virus code, and then the original code gets executed again. Similar to this, we have a prepender. Imagine a Perl script again. A prepender puts its code at the beginning of the file, executes it, and with a little delay, the original file gets executed again. Last but not least, of course, we have overwriter viruses. They just overwrite the whole code with its own code. They are the most destructive ones. So what types of payloads do we have? First of all, what's a payload? A payload is everything else than reproduction. So reproduction is the normal thing a virus does, and a payload is like the rest. Could be closing all windows, could be changing the start page of IE or whatever. So what types of payload do we have? Conspicuous payloads. What is a conspicuous payload? Well, I define a conspicuous payload, a payload that really wants to make the user realize that he got infected. Could be a message box telling you, hey, you got infected by virus XY, by ZY. That is really conspicuous. More interesting are inconspicuous viruses, and most criminals do inconspicuous payloads. For example, the projects by Joanna Rutkowska are very interesting examples for inconspicuous payloads because the viruses put the whole OS into a virtual machine, which is not recognized by the user, so it's totally inconspicuous. Poly and metamorphic viruses are very interesting. They change their way of acting every time. So you code this virus and you can't be sure how it will act in 25 reproductions later. They are really like the big ones. Anti-debugging techniques are very interesting. I have written a virus, it was released in EOF magazine #1, remember EOF-project.net, that shows how to do anti-debugging, for example, Olly debug or whatever, and you can write little routines for your virus that check if they are debugged. So this can be a payload as well. Okay, so we talked a bit about virus forms, Trojans, whatever, but I haven't defined it yet. So let's define it now. What types of malware do we have? Well, first of all, we have a virus. Yeah, really. What is a virus? A virus is a program that starts with an infected host file and reproduces itself to other files. A worm is a virus, but it spreads externally over the internet, over the LAN, over what else. A Trojan horse is a program that simulates a normal program, could be simulating a game or whatever, but silently it executes evil code. And we have a hoax. This is just a joke virus. Okay, ways of communication. So now we talked a lot about viruses. Now we come back to the VXs themselves. So how do they communicate with each other? Well, first of all, over file servers. There are great file servers out there, and if you bought this little book or read my article on hacking, you can find a link to a file server. I don't remember the URL right now. Well, a good file hoster is vx.netlux.org. It has many viruses, source codes, and binary viruses as well. And this is the way VXer communicates, how they conduct knowledge exchange. Websites, of course, every good VXer has an own website where it shows his stuff, his source code. Emails are mostly used if a VXer plans a new project and they want to make it silently, they don't want the public to realize it, so they are writing emails to each other. Same with ICQ, MSN, Yahoo. So something interesting now, IRC. IRC is the medium for VXers to communicate. And because of this, I wrote down some good channels for you, which you can find in irc.undernet.org. First of all, EUF-project channel, VXers channel, Virus, VX-lab, and Vir. There you will find mostly every VXer in the world. But just a tip, don't go there and spam. You will be kicked. People are really, well, VXers are careful with strangers. So it would be better if you code a little virus, show it to them, and then they will trust you more. VXers are not using Silk. Even I would suggest them to use Silk because it's more secure. They love IRC and they will ever use it, I guess. eSigns. eSigns are the most important platform for VXers to communicate with each other. What is an eSign? eSign stands for electronical megasign. Imagine an eSign like a little folder which has different subfolders full of sources and tutorials and articles, and mostly you have an index.html file that links to every special source and article that is in the eSign. So it's like a really little PDF, could it be, or whatever. And it comes out mostly once a year by one group. So what connection do we have between VX and AV? VX and AV. VXers, virus exchangers, and AV antivirus companies. So it's a fight. It's always a fight. VXers are coding viruses, and the AV are trying to beat those viruses. What more? It's an observation. It's like VXers are observing the AV company, looking what they're doing, and the AV company are blogging about the VX scene. For example, F-Secure has a very interesting blog where they really write a lot about the VX scene. But the most interesting thing, infiltration. There were really AVers who tried to infiltrate the whole VX scene, and they had some success. For example, Peter Ferry is known for such nice things, or other people from Kaspersky. Very nice company, really likes us. And they go into the channels I just named you, simulate an VXer and try to find out real names of the people sitting around there and just get them into prison. So that's the worst case, if an AV company tries to beat the scene and really destroy it. What is the best case in the connection between VXers and AVers? The best case is a VXer writes a virus. Just a simple virus for Windows, whatever. It sends it to the AV company. The AV company can now analyze the virus, of course. It analyzes the virus, can make a string for it for the database, and can secure their customers. And then they put a description on the page, and this is like a trophy for the VXer. So we have 3 little steps. The VXer writes the virus, sends it to the AV analyzes it, puts a description on the homepage, and the VXer has a trophy. It's good for everyone. The VXer has a trophy, the AV can secure the customers. That would be the best case, but as we have seen, we have worst case, destroying the scene. So what used languages do we have? Well, first of all, as I said, .NET languages are getting more and more popular. C#.NET, VB.NET, and what else .NET.